Sensational Saturday, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the D Word of Divorce Dynasty. Oh my goodness, I hope you're having a fabulous Saturday because I certainly am. I always look forward to the D Word because every Saturday morning we bring and highlight a specific person who is absolutely phenomenal in their respective fields. I actually met our guest not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, at a photo shoot for the Divorce Dynasty. And we quit right away because you can very well, it's very easy to
We did.
very warm, friendly, and a consummate professional. She's part of the Smolin Tax and Accounting, and she services a lot of like engineering firms, schools, medical professionals, profit and non-profit groups. And she is really wonderful because she also volunteers in many non-profit charities. And so it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you my new friend, Laura DiTommaso. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Furley, for the nice intro. And I'm
So beautiful. Look at
your
you.
show. And this is my first time doing this, so
All right.
bear with me.
Oh no, you're doing fantastic. You look great. By the way, my co-host Carolina Denhard, she's a divorce attorney, a law, family law attorney, and a family law and international law attorney. Actually, would love to be able to join us, but as usual, she's very busy working with clients, and of course, clients first because they have urgent needs, right? That is the whole beauty of people in the divorce dynasty. We always put our clients first. So today we're going to talk about something I am not comfortable about, accounting. I'm not good with numbers. I'm probably one of your nightmares when it comes to the tax season because I never prepare anything ahead of time. I don't keep my records straight. So first of all, did I say it correctly? What's the name of your company, Smolin?
Smolin Lupin. And we're based in Fairfield, New Jersey, and we have an office in Red Bank, where I'm based out of, as well as Florida and New York. And we're about
Wow.
100 people person firm, and we're one of the larger firms in New Jersey, although we're considered a medium-sized firm. We're around, I guess, 200th, around that area in the country. So,
well, I didn't realize that you also service other places aside from New Jersey. That's phenomenal. Yes. I have one nagging question I've been wanting to ask you ever since I have your business card. It says CPA PSA. What does that stand for?
PSA is a designation that I'm a public school accountant. So part of my practice is auditing public schools, and that's a designation that that you have to have in addition to your CPA in order to be one of those auditors.
Well,
so,
you certainly are very time because I've never seen that like that initial before. It's like,
yes.
What is me? I even had to Google it. But, so that is one of the specialty fields that you are also in.
Yes.
So back to what you were saying, but I know that from reading your bio, you said that you actually have been an accountant since 1976. That's a lot of years.
You had to put that in there, Furley. Now people can subtract and figure out how old I am.
Well, on a positive note, it goes to show that you are a wealth of experience, so that you have been exposed to many different types of challenges when it comes to accounting. So, aside from the public schools and the medical and engineering firms that you're helping, are you also helping individual taxpayers?
We do. I mean, that's part of our practice as well. So many of the individual taxpayers, are from the corporations and that we audit and review and compile. But there are also a lot of standalone tax returns that we do as well. So I think I've seen a lot since 1976, that's for sure. When I first started, there were very few women in accounting. And so it's wonderful to see many women in the profession. That's happened over the last 40 years. So there's been a lot that I experienced in those 40 years because I was a woman. I almost had to work a little bit harder just to prove that I was as good as a man. So, you know, those early years were tough in getting clients to accept me, as well as even the firm that I worked for at the time. It was my uncle's firm, and he didn't even want to hire me because my aunt forced him to hire me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really had to work harder in order to do that. And I worked with a small firm for 35 years. And 7.5 years ago, some of my clients were getting larger. I wasn't really happy with the way the small firm was going, and I decided to make a jump to a larger firm so that I could offer my clients more services. They were getting bigger, and I needed more support behind me that I didn't have in the smaller firm. So it was a big jump.
Yeah, through our many life and career evolutions, of course, we sometimes outgrow what we've been. But of course, we're very grateful for all the training that we've had. First of all, like I did a quick calculation, looking at how youthful you look. I said, like, what age did you just start accounting?
Well, thank you, Furley. That's
You're
genes.
very youthful.
Young genes run in my family. My mother is a lovely 86-year-old. So,
oh, wow. Because I'm looking at it like, wow, 4 years, like,
yes,
like, okay.
yes.
So,
I am over 60.
oh, you certainly
young. I was very young when I did pass my CPA. I did start school early, but of course, not that
so
long.
the fact that you were able to pass being a CPA very young, that just goes to show you're brilliant, and you're bright, and of course, coupled now with a lot of years, decades of experience, anyone who would be working with you would feel very comfortable and confident that you know exactly what to do in terms of guiding them. Because I am even thinking of a lot of people in the nonprofit sector, for instance, because I am a part of the board of directors of, say, for example, medical associations. Some of them profit, some of them nonprofit, and oftentimes there's a lot of confusion when it comes to tax preparation, for the members, and so that's actually great to know. And even in the public schools, like I did not know that you have to have a certain designation, and that way also what makes you very, very unique, because you don't only help private sectors or private small businesses, but as well as big businesses, and individual citizens. So yeah. So what else makes you unique?
I mean, well, I mean, and what you say, people are nervous about putting their information together, and we try to make it painless. I've often spoken to, in part of my volunteer work, young high school students about careers in accounting. And what I've tried to focus on is that it's not about sitting in an office with numbers. It's determining how to analyze those numbers. Anyone can do a tax return. Anyone can do an audit or compilation. What makes you different? What makes you different is the strategic planning that you offer to your clients. And that's what we try to do. We work with their bankers, their attorneys, to try to have a holistic approach to their financial picture. That's really
Buzzword right now,
right?
Yeah.
Anybody, like I said, it's not fun just to sit there and do a tax return. What's fun is what you do with that and what you offer to your client. And it's a very personal thing when someone comes in. So you almost have to be part psychologist as well, because they're telling you so many of their concerns, and when you can alleviate some of those concerns and fix something, that's really what makes the profession rewarding. And I'm still learning, right? We had PPP this year, and I was on the PPP task force, due to coronavirus. PPP is the Paycheck Protection Program that was put in to assist businesses, right, to give them money so that they could keep their people on payroll while they were shut down, when they, you know, while they were trying to deal with the pandemic. So that law was passed on a Friday that money was available. All by Sunday, I had to learn that, navigate through that law, and then start calling clients and tell them, this is a program you need to apply for, and let's get everything together so that you have the information to apply for these loans and get it in quickly. And we worked with our banker contacts, and now we're dealing with attorneys because some of our clients received a lot of money and they're subject to more scrutiny. So,
yeah. You know what? First of all, I love that you're very proactive in and reaching out to your clients about what is available for them. I like the fact that you are very, hands-on when it comes to helping them be on top of their game, so to speak. How has the pandemic affect your ability to service your clients, technology-wise, for instance?
I've been working from home since March. So fortunately, technology is wonderful. We're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. We're learning to audit clients remotely, whether it's sharing screens, doing a lot of teleconferences. I mean, it's really changed how things are. One funny thing is, I don't think my husband understood that when I was working from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night or 11 at night, that I was really working, but now he knows.
Well, actually, since we're part of the divorce dynasty, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure that you are going through, many people going through divorces, and so obviously, like there's a different kind of accounting that needs to be done. Actually, my sister is a forensic tax accountant, and obviously, that is her one specialty, and it's not a pretty place to be because now you're basically investigating people, right? So what is the role of your firm in a divorce scenario, for instance?
That was one of the reasons I joined a larger firm as well, because I was often asked to be a joint expert in valuing businesses and determining cash flow, and assisting attorneys with litigation support. And Smolin has a whole department of litigation support. And so that's a wonderful addition, a wonderful resource that we have available. And we do not only divorce, but when businesses, there's partners in business who get divorced as well. So it's finding what the real income of the business is, and that takes some forensic work to analyze lifestyle to determine what the real value of the business is. So I do have my hands in that, and that's why I am part of Divorce Dynasty. But we do have a whole department at Smolin that they specialize in forensic.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, having a whole department just serving that particular niche. Wow. Well, you have so many different unique services that you offer that does not normally come with an accounting firm. So that's really great knowing, especially for small businesses, and also for people who are celebrity or big nonprofit organizations. So you're definitely the person to go to when it comes to that. Now, let's talk about people who are like private citizens who may be always stressed out over the tax season. Like sometimes they start scrambling for all the paperwork because the deadline is April 15th, right? And so, how can you give us like 3 tips? Let's start with a personal, an individual. So what do they do all throughout the year that would prevent them from being chaotic during the tax season?
Well, I think it's important to keep good records. If you make a lot of donations, you can charge it. You can, there's ways you can do it so that at the end of the year you can access that information. We try to make it painless. We have tax organizers that we provide our clients with, and that really reflects what their prior year information was, as well as a questionnaire, so we know if there's anything different or not. And we do that very early in January so that clients do have that information. What makes it difficult now is the tax laws become so complicated that if you have investments, so often you're involved in publicly traded partnerships, you're involved, you receive 1099s that are corrected in March and April. So that's made things a little bit difficult for us, because it almost seems like except for this year when our tax season was endless. I mean, we just, we're still in it with the July 15th deadline, and then extensions for corporations on September 15th, and now we have a final October 15th deadline. So it seems like it's been a never-ending season. But,
usually April 15th, you feel like, oh, now I can.
Not this year. But the thing is, we still needed, for people who were applying for that PPP money, we had to get their financial information together. So we were still busy, not only, getting everything together so that they could apply and fill out those applications with what
there's still money available for PPP.
I believe the program is closed now, but there are other options besides PPP. PPP was the program where the money can be forgiven. There are other loan programs that are still out there, but the money right now is difficult to get. And there's different state programs as well, but those have really been funded to many participants also. So right now, I'm not sure what the availability is unless they pass another program.
Yeah. So, but either way, if you're a small business owner and you're hurting because of how COVID have impacted your business, definitely you need to reach out to Laura to be able to ask what your options are, because I'm sure everybody is stressed right now because they still have to pay rent. They may be deferred, but they still have to pay it at some point, right? And so,
Right.
A lot of people are like really making decisions. Should I close? What should I do? Get a loan? Would this be forgiven? All of these questions would be answered appropriately by an expert such as you, of course.
Right.
Now, I'd like to switch gears a little bit. I know that you also service the elder population. Okay. Now,
Yes.
the elder people are still, basically hooked on keeping receipts, not technology savvy. So how do you treat the elders differently?
Oh, I think I have so many old lady clients. Widows. I mean, it's just taking one step at a time, right? And because it does, like you said, it does get overwhelming for people to put their information together. And you just start, all right, what's your income? And with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act a couple of years ago, they increased the standard deduction. So many people. So in that respect, things could be a little bit easier because even myself, I take the standard deduction now. So I don't necessarily have to keep all those receipts. So, and there's different strategies that we use to maybe bunch up expenses like charitable donations in 1 year so that you can go over that that standard deduction threshold. So yeah, that takes some planning as well. So, but the thing is, it for the average person who doesn't have a mortgage, they may take the standard deduction. So you don't have to worry about keeping all those receipts unless you're a business.
So do you have like like a coupon organizer, like receipt organizer? Do you give them some kind of a tool to make it easier for them to
I
somehow?
think we try to educate them on what they have to do and the easiest way to do it. And it's not the same for every person. So I think we just try to tailor it to whoever that is.
Okay, for those hoarders out there, how long should you keep your receipts and your?
Oh, we have a list. There's different documents that should be permanent. There's also documents that, that you can get rid of after 3 years or after 7 years. So we have a
I
whole,
want an income tax return. How long should you keep it?
those are supposed to be permanent because if there's an issue, say with your Social Security, maybe they don't have the right amount of earnings for 1 year, at least then you might have your tax return to prove that. So it's maybe a little more seamless than it was many years ago, but that's still usually the guide, that tax return should be permanent, but you don't need all the backup that goes along with it.
Oh, okay. So because otherwise I was thinking, you can have it scanned, and so you don't have to keep all the paper, and also in case of fire,
Right.
that you have somehow save it on a cloud. It's so funny, right? Like even right now, like cloud, I'm looking at the sky right now and I'm thinking that it comes differently.
And we scan all the documents into our system. We don't keep any paper, but we have not only the tax returns, but the documents as well that go along with it on our cloud. So if there's someone who needs any information, we do have it. And there's also the IRS that you can receive copies of transcripts for your tax return as well. So there are some elderly clients that we get that don't have records, and we have to write to the IRS, and maybe they haven't filed for a couple of years. We write to the IRS and ask them what their income was.
When you talk about educating them, do you actually go to, say, for example, retirement places and give an education, or how do you do that?
I think it's really just talking to the clients individually.
Okay.
Years ago, I was involved in a women's financial information program, and that was offered through Rutgers Cooperative Extension and AARP. And it really was a good program. It was over a 6-week period, and we spoke about different things, a different topic every week, and there was a different person every week who led the discussion, and then we would break out into discussion groups. So things like that were, and I'm sure they still have similar programs, but that was a great tool, and I think that helped a lot of people. So
I can tell because, as what did I tell you? You're very easy to talk to. There's something very light about your energy, and people will feel really very comfortable, reaching out to somebody like you, because you feel like, oh, I'm not going to be judged. Whether we like it or not, we say something like, oh my gosh, they look like they'll judge me because I did not make much money. Things like that. But you don't come across that way, and I love that. And on top of that, you are like, as I've said, a genius in what you do. Okay. Okay. A couple of tips that you can give to business owners.
Yeah, I had a call yesterday actually with a new client. They have a large architectural firm in New York, but one of the partners, his wife, is also an architect and also does construction. She's just starting her business, and we had a call with them while they were in the car with their kids, so the whole family was listening to the conversation. And it was just a question of, okay, how are you're starting this business, how are you keeping those records, and how can we best share that information? And first she said, well, I really don't have the time to, once quick, I don't know if I need a bookkeeper or if I can do it myself. And I think we determined that the strategy was for her to get QuickBooks Online, which we can access and she can access. We would set it up for her so that she would have her chart of accounts, and basically then once it was set up and we could start with with some transactions at the beginning to get it set up so that she can maintain it going forward. And after that half-hour conversation, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you've helped us so much." So you know what? That made my day. So because
there's a lot of people out there who are on a 1099, meaning they're self-employed, they're independent contractors. This is a great tool. I love the fact that educating your clients, basically empower them to be able to relieve themselves of the stress of the idea of tax preparation when it comes to April 15th, right? And so and because you make it easier for them as well as yourself to be able to work together, so you can do it more seamlessly, and of course in a shorter amount of time. I would love to know, I'm sure everyone in the audience would love to know, how do they get in touch with you?
Oh, okay. Well, we have a website, Smolin, I guess it's smolin.com, but you can call my office, which is 732-933-9300. My office phone rings on my cell phone at home. There's usually somewhat of a delay, but I'm fairly easy to reach. So, and
That's awesome. Check her out, smolin.com. And of course, she actually works on the office in Red Bank. But remember, they service, what did you say, New Jersey, Florida, and what else?
New York and New Jersey, New York, Florida primarily.
Yeah. So look at that. Like that is a huge population to begin with already. So that's absolutely awesome. And know now that you can also do this virtually. So you don't have to actually get into your car. You're going to be safe in the comfort of your own home. She'll be able to guide you through Zoom. As I've said that, Laura is one of the people that I actually fell in love with, to work with, to collaborate with, and I can't wait to explore ways we can even collaborate in the Divorce Dynasty platform, because, it's nice to actually work with people who are aligned with your values, so it's, being of service and being always of best in, serving what's best interest of the client. So Laura, it was such an absolutely divine time spending a Saturday morning with you. Thank you for sharing your phenomenal knowledge and genius with our audience. And we strongly recommend that you reach out to Laura for your tax accounting needs, profit, non-profit, professional, or individual use, and even older people, more seasoned in age like us. You're in good hands, right, Laura?
Yes. Thank
Any
you.
last words before we go?
Pleasure. Huh?
Any last words before we go?
Oh, this was just a lot of fun for me. So I was glad to participate in this. And yeah, I'm willing to help anyone who needs help. I mean, that's the rewarding part of my profession.
Beautiful. Now she's no longer a podcast virgin. Woohoo!
You're a great person. I'm so glad to meet you, Furley.
Oh, same here. Okay, we will be in touch always. And as I've said, if you should have any questions, reach out to Laura DiTommaso of Smolin Pollen. Did you say?
Smolin Lupin.
Lupin. Smolin Lupin, tax and accounting. All right. Okay. Until then, I hope you enjoy your weekend. And summer is over, and we're now approaching fall. Make sure you take care of yourself. You don't want allergies, but most of all, always be grateful. We have the gift of life right now, and always live vibrantly. Until then, on behalf of Carolina Denhard, divorce attorney, this is Furley Almonte, your host from the D Word. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.